Greetings. Greetings, Hampton Bayites. How are you? Oh, stop it. That's too much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Really nice round of applause from everybody. We have a lot of people behind the camera tonight. Maybe that's why it got so loud. There's a lot of people back there, so you probably heard everybody yelling and screaming. Welcome. Welcome, Marion and Tara. Tara is visiting, and she's also singing. Jennifer, Marion, Bernadette, welcome. Wow, a lot of good folks here tonight. Kathy and Joanne. Will is here. Well, we'll get started. I don't know who's left. Sometimes these people come and then they go, and all heck breaks loose. Welcome, Christine. We'll see how long these folks stick around. I don't know. Well, let's have a nice night, Hampton Bays. So some of you may have seen. Yesterday was the 14th birthday of the We Love You Too, Hampton Bays. Getting to you right now because, as I was saying, yesterday was the 14th birthday of the Block Island Seafood Company. It was August 8th, 2007. Hey, Margie. And we had a big kickoff party in my one of my old apartments. Had a bunch of people there, rented some tables and chairs. It was quite an elegant affair. And that was sort of the start. And then about a year later, after doing some catering and things like that, welcome, Lynn. About a year later, got a call from the director at the Hampton Bays Library at the time, Mike, and he said, "Hey, I know that you said you do cooking demonstrations. I really didn't. Can you do one here?" So I did one at the Hampton Bays Library. That would have been the very first one. So thank you, Marie Jo. That would have been the very first one, which was at Hampton Bays. Tonight marks our, oh God, I don't even know, probably, I don't know, we're probably closing in on 1,000 of these. So let's just call tonight our 1,000th demonstration, and I'm so glad it could be for the Hampton Bays Library and that you folks are here. We're going to get started with, I think, just, two good summer dishes, in particular the Fluke, which I've done a couple of different demonstrations with Fluke, but that was a pan-fried Fluke. We're going to do a deep-fried one tonight. And right now, obviously, you're catching Fluke out in Shinnecock Bay if you're out fishing, or thank you, Ed, or maybe you're going outside of the inlet a little bit into the ocean to get some of those larger Fluke. I don't know if we'll have Captain Brad here from Someday Cam Charters tonight or not, but I know he charters out of Hampton Bays. Maybe he can give us a fishing report. We'll see. So I'm just going to be back here. I got a couple of things working already. Like I got I have a pot here, a hot pot. Rolling, boiling chicken stock. I got some chicken stock in here, and it's at a rolling boil. Welcome, Rich. So I burnt off a little bit of this. Rich has done some Bisco jobs. As a matter of fact, I was going through the Bisco 10-year anniversary video, and Rich was beautifully featured, as well as his son. Thank you, Barbara. Hope the wife and the baby are doing well. They are. Always enjoy your show. Appreciate it, Barbara. The wife and baby are doing well. You might hear some yelling and screaming back there. That's Franny. She's in the living room, which is behind this wall. And behind this wall is Studio 1D. I don't know what they record in there. I don't know. This studio, obviously, we record cooking shows. So I've got this pot of boiling chicken broth back there. And here I have some quinoa, which is a grain. And we're going to cook this for about 15 minutes. I'm going to put the lid on, sort of like rice. I'm going to set it and forget it. And in 15 minutes, we should be good to go. But I'm going to check it in 10. Thank you, Rich. So in goes my quinoa. I'll give that a stir. I don't need any I don't need any salt normally, but tonight I'm cooking with unsalted chicken broth. So I put a dash of salt in there. What the heck? It's my party, and I'll go crazy if I want to. Yeah, right? What do I care? So I'll give that a little stir, get my quinoa going. I'm going to drop this to a simmer. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes. Thank you. So I have quinoa working, and we're going to use the quinoa with the Firecracker shrimp, which we're going to get. That's going to be the first thing we do is the Firecracker shrimp, as far as the proteins are concerned. Welcome, Susan. As far as the proteins are concerned, we're going to start with the shrimp, then the Fluke. Sounds good? Sounds good. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Oh, round of applause. Appreciate it. Thank you, Hampton Bays Library. What I want to also do, because, you know, some things need a little time, like, for example, welcome, Emily. It says, Emily Stores wants to be in your video. What happens if I let this person in the video? I don't know. We can't take any chances. But there is a way to have other people join your video. We'll try that one night, Donna, and see how it goes. But it'll have to be with a trusted library patron. We can't be taking risks. So, as I was saying, some things take time. Like, for example, the quinoa. That's going to take us 15 minutes. Our cucumber salad. This is going to take us about 30 minutes. And the first thing we want to do is take a little bit of salt and a little bit of sugar. So I've got some salt and some sugar right here. I'm going to put that into this bowl. And, you know, that's kind of like the start of a brine. If you want to brine some chicken or turkey or things like that, you would be taking salt and sugar, equal portions, and putting that into a liquid, and then dissolving that into the liquid. And then you'd put your protein in there. And that's the simplest of brine. So you would take like say 2 quarts of water, warm water, and a little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar, tablespoon each or so. Shake it up, and then you could cover a couple of chicken breasts or a pork chop or something like that, and that tenderizes the meat and that flavors the meat. In this case, we're not necessarily looking to tenderize stuff here. We are looking to sort of pickle it in a way. So we have salt, we have sugar, and I have some red wine vinegar. Don't need that much because, you know, this is going to be pretty potent stuff. So I think the recipe just calls for 2.5 tablespoons. That's it. You can always add more vinegar. It's a lot easier to add than it is to take it out. You know what I'm saying? So I give that a swirl around there. I have the seedless cucumber. And one of the reasons you want to use, the main reason you want to use the seedless cucumber, welcome Joanne, is these have less water. They secrete less water than our regular cucumbers. These are also called the British, rather an English cucumber. I don't know why. They have no accent. Thank you. So it'll come with this little wrapper here. Just take that right off. And you want to get these thin. You know, I think if they're paper thin, then they can get a little too soft. I do like to keep them with a little bit of width to them, just so that they can maintain some crunch and a little bit of, I'll say, cucumber integrity. So if you wanted to use your mandolin here, you know, you have that kind of tool with the sharp blade, and then at the end you always cut yourself. Welcome to use it. This is a great one to use it. But I'm just going to use my knife here. And for as far as I can tell, it looks like you can see the knife, so that's good. There we are. Could I get the recipe, please? Yes, Amia, the recipes have been posted on the Hampton Bays Library page. They were posted there yesterday. So take a look there. And if you don't want to leave and go look for them there, and you want me to get them to you, I'll email them to you myself later on tonight. So, I'm going to go with the knife as opposed to the mandolin, just because I feel like I can, I can cut I can cut it really thin if I want, just to prove to you, like, okay, that's a pretty thin slice, and that's a thicker slice, all right? I like this size, because I think this is going to stand up longer in that vinegar, all right? But also this is nice, so that you folks know I can really slice thin. Look how thin this one is. You can barely see this one, okay? Now that's as thin a slice as you're going to get. No one can slice it that thin. So I get my cucumber here. And now remember, when I'm doing this here, see, I got my finger there, that's my guide. So I'm not going to cut myself, because the knife can never get to my finger. Make sure your knife is good and sharp. And a lot of times we'll get the question, how do I keep my knives sharp? You know, for you folks out there, here comes a local plug. Stop by Bar Boy right there in Hampton Bays and pick one of these bad boys up, okay? This is called the Chef Master, and this is an easy way to sharpen your knives. Also, you'll see people that hold it down like this, and they'll run the knife down like that. They work great. The sharpening iron that you see, where the guys are doing this, that's just for cartoons. That doesn't really work. Janice, welcome. My God, we've missed you. And we need a little bit of red onion here, which I have right here. And I'm just going to take about half of that red onion. I'll take the skin off it. And again, I want to go thin here. So if you want to use your mandolin, now's your time. Just be very careful. That's razor thin. Janice, look at that. I can see right through it. And that's all I need right there. Kind of break it up. That's beautiful. I think maybe a little bit of black pepper. Tara Fitzgerald is back, my sister-in-law. You hear all that beautiful singing in the beginning? That's my sister-in-law, Tara. And she's singing in the other room. And then you folks can hear it. Because on a Facebook Live, I can't, for example, play regular music that you would hear like on the radio. Because Facebook hears the digital wave, and they know that you're not allowed to use that music, so they shut you down. But we won't have that issue. Not when Tara is singing. Oh, okay. Oil's working nicely. I had the oil before, and it got so high, it was really getting too hot in here. But we have a nice little ice pack on the back of the camera tonight. I think we're in good shape. You know what else you can add to this if you wanted to? Is a little bit of dill. You could add some dill if you wanted. But right now, what we're going to do is, we're going to show you the crunch test. You ready? Crunch! Did you folks hear it? Crunch! You can hear it. But with the sugar in there, that's going to minimize that real sort of, tangy, stop it. The sugar's going to sort of counteract with the vinegar. So keep that in mind, okay? So that's that for now. Let's make some bang bang shrimp, shall we? I have, well, let's do two things. Let's start to make the shrimp, and then we'll make the sauce. Sounds good? Sounds good. I have some shrimp right here. And for the shrimp, I'm going to need an egg. I want to see, let's see if you folks can see me back here. It looks like you can get a good view right here. Yes, you can. So I've got shrimp right there. I've got an egg right here. Alexa, stop. Thank you for your service. That's my first quinoa alarm. Welcome, Janine. We've missed you. So I'm just gonna give that a stir. And I'm actually gonna give it a little splash here because I burnt off a little bit of the chicken stock before you folks got here. Alexa, set a timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
Thank you. Yeah, so I had the chicken stock working, and then when everybody got here, I got nervous, and then it boiled up. So it evaporated a little bit. I just put a little bit more in. It's okay. So, or as the chefs at the restaurants would always say, "Oh, you wanted more on? You wanted more on." That wasn't very nice. But restaurants can be very hostile environments. One night, Donna, we'll do an after dark, Bisco After Dark, and we'll answer and share all your crazy restaurant stories, folks, that you folks want to hear. I'll tell you all the ins and outs and all the crazy, nasty things that happen. Bisco Confidential. That's what that'll be. I got one egg, and I'm going to just beat it up. Beat it up physically, okay? Not mentally, because those scars last a long, long time. One egg beaten. That's good. And then I have over here some AP flour. And for anybody who's, people always ask, what's AP flour? It's advanced placement flour. A lot of people say it's probably the smartest flour out there. So stop it, please. Thank you. That's a great one. AP is all-purpose flour, okay? And I just kind of work that around with a little salt and pepper. Tighten up top there. I want kind of a fine ground. If you loosen this little nut up here, that's going to give you that sort of larger, chunkier pepper. If you tighten it, you'll get the thinner pepper, which is what I want for this. If I'm making a steak, for example, then I'll use the larger, chunkier ground on the pepper because it really presents itself well on the outside of the meat. So what I'm going to do right now is just going to dress up our flour here, our shrimp, and I think you can see quite nicely here. Yes, you can. So I have my flour here, I have my shrimp, and the shrimp are going to get coated first into the flour to dry off. I'll shake it off. And then I fully coat the shrimp into the egg, and now back into the flour. And I just kind of shake that off. Egg, back into the flour. And you kind of pat it in there a little bit, make sure it's really sticking. I'm going to put these guys right here. I'll line them up for you so you can see what I got. You want to make sure that it's kind of dry. So I'm going to take all my shrimp, put them in. This is kind of a very simple dry batter. We're going to do something with a little more flavor in the next one and more color as well. But remember, our big flavor for the Bang Bang shrimp is Firecracker shrimp is going to come from the sauce that we're going to make. So the breading's important, but it's not. It's just one part of the program here. Again, I get all that nicely coated. You want to have the shrimp dry. I wouldn't use anything larger than a 16, 20 shrimp. Really, anything bigger than that's going to be just too much. You're better off just using a 16, 20 or a 21, 25 shrimp. That's a great size. That's what we have right here. Remember, that's the amount of shrimp per pound. So, got it nicely breaded. And the thing with the egg here, why we're using egg, is because we want to get a little more texture. If we're just using milk, we won't have the sort of larger texture that we want. We're going to use milk for the Fluke. Alexa, stop. We're going to use milk and a different breading when we do the Fluke. But for the shrimp, we want kind of a larger, puffier type of shrimp. So let's take a look over here at the fryolator. In this case, it's just this pot of oil right here. But I have over here my thermometer. And my thermometer is telling me we're at about 330, 340 or so. And that's fine. So what I'm going to do right now is get some shrimp in there. Yep, that's nice. If they start working right away, then you know they're working. And I can see on your screen that you can see some of that work. And maybe I'm killing time while I put these in here. Because if I go too fast, I'll drop the temperature of the oil. And we don't want to drop the temperature of the oil too quick. Because if we do that, then the shrimp will just absorb the oil as opposed to cooking in the oil. But they're fully submerged. And now I'm going to let them go for about 2-3 minutes. And that should be enough to keep them rocking and rolling. And while they're going, we have to make our sauce. Which I'm going to use this one right here for our sauce. How convenient. This is great camera work here tonight. Thank you very much, Craig. So the camera's working here. I'm up to date on my comments. We're going to get a little bit of chopped garlic. A little bit of sriracha. Not too much. That's none at all. That should do it. A little bit of garlic in there. A little bit of like a sweet chili sauce. You can buy this right at your supermarket. You want to do double the amount of chili sauce to the amount of sriracha. A little bit of soy. We got our sriracha. We got that. So what we want to do is now take a little bit of orange zest. So we have some hot ingredients here. We're also going to have some cooling ingredients as well. I need a little bit of orange juice right here. That should do it. Just take a look at our shrimp. shrimp looking? Let's see. They're looking pretty good. And we're going to kind of get that real nice bubbly look to them. That's good. You want to see the temperature. The temperature came down to around 300 after I put those shrimp in, but they're still bubbling, so I know that's okay. So I raised the temperature just a little bit. Now I get you back to the double screen here. You don't get this at most library shows. Here's our sauce, and we really just want to warm it up. You're figuring you're going to warm it up just enough to kind of soften up that garlic. You're still going to taste the garlic for sure, but you want to have the sauce warm enough that the garlic is going to soften. Let's take a look at our shrimp one more time. Really looking good. Probably just about a minute or so away, but they probably are done. If you can get a close look here, and I'll get a paper towel ready so you can. It's not shrimp tempura, but it's going to have that crunchy, bubbly look to it. Beautiful. That's because you got the egg there. Almost sort of the effect that you would get from like a chicken franchise or something like that. But the shrimp look really nice. And our sauce has slowed down. It's just kind of getting caramelized now. And if I want to thin it out, you know, I can taste the sauce. If I want to thin it out, might be a little thick. Ooh, it's very tasty. It's a little spicy, and it's supposed to be spicy, but maybe a little too spicy. I add a little more of that orange juice. Now the sugars in this orange juice, they help bring some sweetness here, reduce the heat. Also, when it gets hot, the sugars in the orange juice help caramelize this sauce. So we are good to go here. I'll take out my shrimp. Those are some good looking shrimp. Yeah, they are. And nicely lit. In the movie business, we would call this a special. We have a special on the shrimp. I finish it off with just a light dusting of salt. These are ready. So what has to happen now? They go right into the pan. And we're just going to take the pan and work the shrimp right into that sauce. And we just want enough to coat the shrimp. That's all we need right there. Looking good, Mr. Tartar. That's a reference to the hit 70s show, Welcome Back, Tartar, starring Gabe Kaplan. And if you'd like, I'll tell you a Gabe Kaplan joke. Yeah, maybe I will. Thank you very much. It looks delicious. It's got a good flavor to it. Now I have my quinoa here as well. Don't forget, we've got our quinoa, which we have to finish off. And it's not too hot right now, so I can leave it as is. But for my quinoa, I need a little bit of lime, which I have right here. A little bit of lime, touch of olive oil, a little cilantro, a little bit of cilantro, If you're wondering what the quinoa looks like, that might not be the greatest light on it, but the little sort of pellets, they give way to their outer shell. So it goes in and looks like little stones or little rocks. Welcome, Kathleen. What a nice surprise. You know, we were just talking about our Bisco anniversary. Kathleen is also prominently featured in our 10-year anniversary video, which is now 4 years old. So I need to make a new video is what I need to do, I think. I'll get on it. So my quinoa is there. It's got the cilantro and now some lime. You know, cilantro and lime, you'll see that finished off in some ramen dishes or in pho. And that'll add a real nice brightness, especially. Miss you too. I hope you're doing fantastic. I really, really mean that. One of, not just one of the greatest people to work with, but a sweet and lovely, lovely person, Kathleen. You brought a lot of class to Block Island Seafood Company, especially in our early days when we had no class at all. We had none. We had no class. So, we've cooked this out. Now we want to plate it up. I'm going to take some of our quinoa. Maybe I'll just put the quinoa right in the middle. And we'll ring some of the Firecracker. I was calling the shrimp Bang Bang or Bam Bam shrimp. I'm not sure why. And we're going to ring that with the shrimp as well. They look really nice. I'm really, really surprised that how nice looking they came out. Maybe I could have made a little more sauce. I'm not sure. I don't know, but there's definitely some flavor to these shrimp. And maybe a touch of cilantro here, right in the middle. Piece of lime on the plate. You know, no one will use it, but it'll look nice. And these are our Firecracker shrimp. My wife is right behind the camera now, so I'm going to have her try the Firecracker shrimp. I think that these were made famous at, like, Panda Express, you know, the restaurant that you'll find in a lot of malls. Pretty cool.
Put some lime over it?
You can put some lime on it. I don't have any coconut for you to put the lime in. Thank you, Peter and Candy. Oh, a little bit of water there. You got to keep your fluids up, you know, especially in these hot days, you know. Welcome back, Bernadette. We missed you. Let's make this Fluke, huh? Oh, I just got this from Maureen. Which coincidentally is also the face that everybody makes after they have a sample at Costco. Whenever somebody has, you know, a little pig in a blanket at a Costco, they'll, oh, that's good. That's really good. I got to get some of those pigs in the blankets. Every restaurant in Florida has a version of this dish. This one looks yummy. I like it spicy. Well, thank you very much, Marie. This one has a little bit of a, it had even more of a kick before I gave it that extra little squeeze of orange. So if you like it spicy, you know, play with it on your own, either with the sriracha, or you can add a little bit of red pepper in that, or, you know, there's a couple of different chili sauces out there. Sriracha is kind of the most popular one right about now. So, we got to get some Fluke going. Do you have any questions out there? Anybody have any questions? MJ, twisted tuna and shrimpers. Looks like we got a little Florida connection going on here. It's a Bisco miracle. Welcome back, Bernadette. Bernadette, I hope Eddie told you that I texted him the other day just to tell him I love him. Why not, you know? So, I have here some of this AP flour. And remember, AP flour stands for Advanced placement flour. Some people weren't here for that joke, so I get to use it twice. I hope that's going to be okay. But I have, let's see, I've got my all-purpose flour here. I'm going to use the same one that I used for the shrimp. I'm not worried about it. Hello, Franny. It's take your daughter to work day. Welcome. Let me just show the folks real quick. Hello, baby girl. Just say hello. Say hello. She sees herself on this camera and this computer. Hi, my name is Franny, and I'm the best baby. Franny, just say hello. She's being shy. This afternoon, she was reciting the Declaration of Independence just from memory. Now she's not talking. Thank you very much, Donna. Donna says, OMG, she is gorgeous. I never get compliments like that, Franny. We went to the park today. We went on the swings. Hello, Aunt Marianne. You just missed Franny. So I have my my white all-purpose flour here. I know, Bonnie. And now I'm going to take some of this cornmeal, which is yellow corn, ground up, and it's grittier. It's grittier than the white flour, so it's going to give us a. It's going to give the fish a different texture. You know, sometimes you can buy those like ready breaders from McCormick's or something like that. Those work totally fine. They really do. They work totally fine. But if you have yellow cornmeal around the house, maybe if you're making polenta or you're using, you make corn muffins from scratch, something like that, there's no reason for you to go out and buy the other stuff. It's just a simple combination of all-purpose flour and some of the cornmeal. This, remember, is going to give it a little bit of a grit, which I like. Some texture to it. And the breading, I know. We already have salt and pepper in here. So I'm just going to mix my cornmeal into my regular flour. This reminds me of one of my favorite meals I ever had was I was in the Bahamas. I was fishing with Skip Tollefson, who was the owner at Lobster Inn. So he was my boss at Lobster Inn. And a couple of years we went down fishing in the Bahamas in marlin tournaments. We never caught a marlin, but we got a lot of mahi-mahi. Big, beautiful, gorgeous mahi-mahi. And there was something great. We would come home to the dock, fillet the fish right there, right on the boat. Hey, Bobby. Timmy Sandler would fillet the fish, as a matter of fact, and Skip would just dredge it in flour and cornmeal and evaporated milk, because he didn't always have access to regular milk. So a can of evaporated milk, and then he would just deep fry them with some macaroni and cheese and hot sauce. And those meals have stuck in my head forever. I love it. But so it's a simple thing, but I think good food is usually simple. It doesn't have to be overly complicated, and it doesn't have to be something that you can't make. So we're going to use Fluke, because Fluke is obviously in season right now, especially out in Hampton Bays. As I said at the start of this program, we caught bonita last week from the beach on Block Island. Well done, Lynn. I don't know if I had told this story. Stop me if I did. But I was fishing once on Block Island, and I think we discussed this. I was at this cut where the ferry boats come in, and you could see striped bass a mile offshore, just working their way in, following the tide. And me and a couple other fishermen were sitting there and we're watching the bass follow all these bait fish. Right now you see a lot about sharks close to the water because they're following the bait fish. So same thing, the bass followed the bait fish in. I'm standing there with, I had a fake worm or something like that. and the striped bass was right in front of me. I was running the bait right over their head. They wouldn't take it because they had real fish in front of them. But the guy to the left of me on a fly reel hooked into a bonita, which is a small little tuna. They look like about a football size, and they are rocket fast. And best eaten raw, to be honest. So congratulations, Lynn. Well done. So I have this Fluke here, and I did this wonderful thing last week where I was able to just put the fish right here. Just like that. It's not going to fall off. And I'm able to tell you, folks, that up here in what we would call the neck of the fish, because this is where the head of the fish is the tail. Up here, there's a little bit of a bone, and you'll feel it with your knife. So you don't have to be some sort of a professional fishmonger to cut that out. I'm doing it completely improperly. But here you can see how easy it is and how little of the fish I'm actually going to lose. That's it. That's all I'm going to lose. That's not a lot. So fluke are larger than flounder. Some people call fluke summer flounder, but biologically they are not connected. They have nothing in common. I'm going to cut a couple of pieces off this guy right here. I'm going to fillet up 2 pieces for demonstration purposes. So the fluke is a larger species than the flounder, and they come up in the warmer waters. So you would not be catching flounder this time of year, like off of Long Island. Those would be fluke that you're catching. So I've got a little bit of milk. I've got a little bit of our breading right here. So we start out with our breading. And then we're going to go into the milk. You can use evaporated milk here if you want, and then back into the breading. Shake it up, just like that. And then shake off some of the excess. Same thing here. Get it into the dry batter. We got that cornmeal. So we want this to kind of come out golden brown. We're going to use the same oil as before. And I kind of overcooked it a little bit, so it might get a little dark, but that's okay. I think it's still going to be beautiful and wonderful, like all of you folks in Hampton Bays. So I've got these nice little fillets right now. I'm going to put them here. And we'll set up the fry camera. Again, come on in for a closer look here at the fry camera. There you can see the oil has gone kind of brown. But that's because I had some remnants in there, and it kind of got a little overcooked. But we're going to see if the oil's still good and hot. Yes, it is. Good and hot. Move that baby root. Move that fish over. And we have our second piece. Now remember, if you're frying in a pot that's low, you got to be careful that you don't get overflow. So be very careful. So about 2 minutes or so here, and we should be good to go. Now you don't eat this every day because it's not good for your arteries. Or if you do, make sure you do a lot of running. But the fish will not take too long. I didn't even need to really flip that. When I was just doing that, I'm not even sure why. And this will work with any sort of nice thin fish that you have. But that's what the fry camera looks like. And you see I got my candy thermometer there, keeping the temperature. What Maureen likes to do is check out the menus. for each upcoming episode, and like she likes to wonder which thing is going to make the house smell the most. So she gets really excited on the nights when it's fried fish night. She doesn't mind. She loves it, as a matter of fact. So Maureen just brought me the cucumbers from the walk-in refrigerator that we have here. We don't really have a walk-in refrigerator, but we could if you were a very small person and the refrigerator was larger. But we've got our salad, which is looking wonderful. I'm going to check on that fish. Should be close to being done. Oh yeah. Now my oil was a little hot, so I want to take a break here and see if I nailed it. Ow! It's so hot! We got it. Same thing. When that fish comes out, just a quick little dusting of salt. That'll work. Bonus recipe for the good folks here at the Hampton Bays Library. Let's see. You have to bring out the Hellmann's. I've always thought when you bring out the Hellmann's, you bring out the best. I hope you folks agree. So I have a little bit of Hellmann's here. Here I have some chopped up capers. This is a version of my brother Matt's tartar sauce, and I think he said that his was some sort of bastardized version of Anthony Bourdain's. So, you know, down the lineage, here we are. So I have some capers. I have some chopped cornichons, which are fancy and saltier and brinier gherkins. Not a sweet gherkin. Looks like it, but a much different flavor. And these are the sesame seeds that was supposed to go on the shrimp before. Imagine it with the shrimp. To my cornichon and my capers, I have a little bit of chopped shallot and a little bit of chopped chive. That's going to go right in there. This tartar sauce is a big hit. Real big hit. A little bit of some lemon zest. I think I made this tartar sauce once when I did fish and chips at the Hampton Bays Library. It was great, but boy, the place must have stunk for weeks. I'm so sorry. When I first started doing these jobs at Hampton Bays Library, we were using flame. I was bringing in portable flame in a library. There's a lot of books in a library. Probably not a smart idea. But what can you do? Oh, it's okay. We learned. You know, we're all good now. I'll never do that again. And then last but not least, I need some bit of mayo here. If you're wondering, geez, Craig, that's an awful big jar of mayo. You'd be right. So I just take that mayo and get that right into this, right into the mix here. And last but not least, because I happen to have this around, I think I have some tarragon. I was down in the basement. Yeah, I got a little bit of tarragon here. Tara, what do we always say when we use tarragon? We would never want tarragon. Never. Stop it. Okay, a little run my knife right through that tarragon. It's a real sort of, you know, it's got like that anise flavor. It's adult. I always like to say when I don't know how to describe the flavor of something. This case, it's licorice. It's a licorice flavor. But it adds kind of an adult... tartar sauce is not on the Fluke recipe, Marie Jo. This is just a special thing I had laying around. So I thought, you know what the heck? I'll just make a tartar sauce for my good friends here at the Hampton Bays Library. Email me. I'll send you the recipe. It was just a bonus track. All the best, Rich. So I can even smell the licorice flavor coming off this. Oh yeah. So I've got this wonderful little tartar sauce here. I have the golden breaded Fluke. Wonderful looking Fluke. There we go. So we're going to want to keep these two things separate because, remember, less of a crunch now and a nice sweetness to it. Really nice. The onions have really softened, and the cucumbers have softened up a little bit, but not enough that they're not, that they're still not crunchy. They are crunchy, which is exactly what I wanted to keep. So we have that. Got our nice crunchy Fluke here. Really nice. And a little bit of this tartar sauce going to go on top as well. I'm going to put that right there. I know you probably should be dipping it. And then in honor of those wonderful nights, as I said, in the Bahamas, I'm going to do a little dash of hot sauce here. That's a good bit of hot sauce I just put there. Woo! Hot stuff here. A little bit of tartar. Crazy bite. Mmm. That is good. That is good. But it's so hot. Oh no. I'll cool it down with a little cucumber chip. Thank you very much. Oh, that's good stuff. What a wonderful night. What a wonderful night. Donna will keep this on the Facebook page at the Hampton Bays Library. Watch it again if you missed anything. You can always email me, Craig at blockislandseafood.com, and I'll send you that tartar sauce recipe if you like. If you're out there, folks, and you're catching any fish, you feel inspired to make one of these dishes, like this one we made here tonight, please do. Tag us in the photo and let us know how you did. Be entered to win. Nobody entered to win last month, so we had no winners. So I kept last month's prize, which was $10,000. Sorry. Somebody, you got to enter, because you never know. Next month, it could be a $10,000 prize, or it could be a hat. Either one would be incredible. Thank you, Hampton Bays Library, and all my good friends out in the Hamptons. I miss you. And I'll be seeing you all soon, I hope. In the meantime, stay safe, God bless, and go in peace. Tara? Thank you very much, Tara. Tara, take us out, okay? Tara, can you sing something nice for the people? Oh, she wanted to do this one for Franny. We miss you too. Nice job, Tara. Thank you, Donna.